This is Eric Muather with Muather.com for the week of July 23rd, 2012. Let's take a look at the markets here. We see that we ended the options expiration week with a down day in the markets. Nasdaq down about 1.37%, and you see that market seems to be stalling around this general area here. This area was support here, support there, failed there, support, resistance, and resistance there. So this generally is an area where the market was gonna find difficulty moving. Again, what I notice here with the RSI is that we seem to be forming a cup and handle on the RSI, which is a sell signal. I mean, not a cup and handle, but a head and shoulders with the left shoulder, head, right shoulder there. So the RSI is forming like what seems to me like a triple top. Again, seems like a symmetrical head and shoulders reversal sell signal pattern. So I would call that markets looking to move lower in the coming days and weeks, just based on that fact that the RSI is giving us a triple top there. And now that's the Nasdaq daily. If you take a look at the Nasdaq weekly, you see that as the market was trying to move higher here, it ran into resistance exactly on that price channel top lines. So we're not surprised to see that big one-day pullback. If you take a look at the Dow from a daily chart, you see the same scenario on the RSI. You might see that this is a triple top on the RSI here, this here. That to me is a sell signal. The market is forming a triple top on the RSI as prices make short-term highs. That to me is a sell signal again. I'm looking to see this market struggle going forward, but just based on the RSI formation there. If you take a look at the Dow from a 60-minute RSI level, 60-minute price level, you'll see that this here has been resistance in the market going back to the middle of June. We failed here, here, and here. So that to me is again market showing another sign of a sell signal and topping out short term. Also the RSI, we've been finding it difficult to move above this general area here, and this is where the market hit that level and stalled. So no surprise that the market was gonna pull back with a 120-point drop on the Dow. If you take a look at the Dow transports, just like the Nasdaq and the Dow, you see that this break point here, once we broke down here from this trend line here, once we broke down here, we've been finding it difficult to move above this level here. So we've had multiple resistance levels. Remember, the Dow transports already gave us a double top on the RSI. We are at a point of inflection. We are getting closer to the conclusion of this triangle here. Also happens to be an area where we have the 50-day and the 200-day moving average right there making contact. So a lot of indecision here. And again, you see that the triangle here is going to resolve one or the other. We'll see which way it picks. Right now, it looks like markets deciding it wants to probably pick the downside. And I say that because you see the MACDs rolling over here to the downside right now, rolling over to the downside. So I would look to the market to continue pulling back here. If you take a look at the S&P 500, again on the RSI, we have a triple top here, and that what seems like a head and shoulders pattern, because we have the RSI here forming pattern like that. So you got your head and shoulders formation here. So that to me is a sell signal as far as the RSI is concerned. We'll see whether that triple top is going to lead to a market pulling back for the rest of the month of July. Take a look at the QQQ. Again, same scenario as the Nasdaq. We have a triple top on the RSI right there. That's a sell signal as far as I can tell. Take a look at the banking index, the BKX, the RSI, not only forming a triple top there as a sell signal, also you see that the price hit that declining price channel top line and pull back. Again, another sell signal. If you take a look at the IYR, you'll see that even though the price is making nominal new highs on the weekly chart for the IYR, the real estate ETF, you'll notice that we have a declining RSI on the weekly. Again, seems like on a week-to-week basis, that's a sell signal to me as far as I'm concerned. Unless this market can find a way to break out of this resistance level, every time it comes to this level, it hits a roof and heads down. So I think this is a negative divergence. You see price improvement or technicals decline. That's a broad line sell signal. If you take a look at the CRB index, you'll notice that on the price channel, you take these highs here, you draw a straight line, we hit that level over the last couple of days, which also happens to be an area where you have a declining 200-day moving average. That again might be a short-term sell signal as far as the CRB is concerned. If you take a look at crude oil, same scenario. What I want to point out here, this is the highs here for crude oil, and it's only until it broke down here. If you use this dotted line coming down here, it broke down when it hit that level there, and we saw a big drop all the way from 108 to about 78. Big drop in crude oil, and you see that now we are back at this level here on the RSI, which is that level there. So to me, this is a short-term sell signal again. That's all I see, and so I'm thinking the market here wants to move lower. Now if you take a look at UNG, which is a natural gas, this is a 5-year weekly chart, and the reason why I'm using a 5-year weekly chart, you see that over the last 4 years and a half, about 4 years, the RSI for the natural gas has stayed pretty much in this general area, below 50 pretty much. And you see for the first time in about 4 years, we are now starting to move above 50. If we stay above 50, then maybe natural gas has a chance to move higher. This is something it hasn't done since July, July, August of 2008. So unless it can stay above that level, if it reverses and pulls back like it did in 2011 here and went straight to new lows, if it can't sustain prices, the RSI moving higher, then I think this is another trap and natural gas is gonna be moving lower. So we need to watch this to see whether it can hold, whether it has the strength to stay above 50 on a weekly chart. Otherwise, this is where it has been finding it difficult to move above that level. If you take a look at gold here, as observed by the GLD, you see that we are at a point of inflection as this triangle narrows down. We're either going to break out or break down. So I would say with a declining 200-day and a declining 50-day moving average, more than likely this is going to lead to a breakdown in gold. But we can't decide for the market. We'll let the market decide which way it wants to go. But right now I would say gold pretty much is on no man's land as this triangle continues to narrow down. If you take a look at the Canadian dollar, which moves inverse the dollar itself, you'll see that we hit the 200-day moving average and we're pulling lower, and also happens to be an area on the RSI where we find a trouble. You see that this was a high here going back many months, and that is where the RSI stalled, and we see we are stalling exactly again on that level there. Also happens to be the back test of this line. Every time we hit this level here, we seem to be pulling back. So to me, again, another signal they're giving us a sell signal here. This here was a sell signal, and we are back at that level there. So that should be another sell signal as far as the Canadian dollar is concerned. Here we look at the euro making a 52-week low right there. That can't be a good thing. So lots of reasons to think that the dollar continues to move higher. Remember a week ago I talked about the fact that if the dollar can stay above 81.83, then the market is going to continue being under downside pressure. So the dollar needs to defend this level if the market is going to go down. For the market to rally, you're going to need to see the dollar move back below 81.83. Right now it's above this level here, so the breakout is still in effect, which suggests a market that is going to be under pressure. Let's take a look at some world markets here with the Brazilian market leading off. You see that the Brazilian market is also forming this, seems to be a wedge here to the downside. At some point it's either going to break down with an accelerated move lower or break out and have a short-term rally. For now, you see that we have a triple top on the RSI. That's a sell signal as far as I'm concerned. If you take a look at the French CAC 40, you see that the RSI hit double top resistance here, there, and that seems to me like a short-term sell signal again, just like we've seen in the US markets. If you take a look at the German market, as take a look at the DAX here, you'll see that first and foremost this line here is giving us some indication that this could be a short-term top. Remember, this line connects the lows of 2011, late 2011, draw a straight line. We are now finding it difficult to move above this level here, so this could be a short-term sell signal. You see that this is where the high here corresponds to this high there, and so we are back at this RSI resistance level. We've hit this level twice and failed. That's indicative to me of a topping action in the market. Take a look at the FTSE. Again, it seems to me like this area here on the RSI has been an area of resistance, and more than likely this is short-term highs here with a pullback looming in this market. If you take a look at the Spain index here, Spain market, you'll see that this is the biggest one-day drop in 2011 with 6% drop here. Again, very close to 52-week lows. What that tells me is more than likely we are seeing this market going to push to new lows here, and as it pushes to new lows, it's probably going to put more pressure to worldwide markets. This is Eric Muadhe with Muadhe.com. Seems to me like there's lots of sell signals out there. More than likely we are looking at a market that wants to pull back. Eric Muadhe with Muadhe.com. Good luck, peace, and blessings.